Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. But today, I decided I would give you a peek behind the curtain, if you will. A little glimpse into my life and what I do on a regular day. So for me, a regular day begins at 4:50 in the morning because no matter what I do, I can't sleep past 4:50. I go to bed around 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm up every morning at 4:50. And usually, it's not always right at exactly 4:50. It's between 4:50 and 4:59 every day. And I can take melatonin, I can take Benadryl, I can take pretty much anything, and it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be up at 4:50. If you're up, you may as well be productive. And normally what I do is I make coffee, my wife and I drink coffee, and then we get up, and as soon as there's enough light to see by out there, we take our two dogs for a walk. We have Emmy and Ellie, and Emmy and Ellie go for about a 3/4 mile walk. We'll walk up past our little post office here, and then we turn right. We go up to a little roundabout, and we come back home. And somewhere along the way, both dogs get all of their business done, and we're happy campers. We then come back. My wife feeds the dogs. I make breakfast, and we sit down. We eat breakfast. My wife gets dressed and ready to go to work. And I come back here to my office and sit down at my other computer, which is over there. I look at all of my email because normally my email comes in over the course of several hours at night. I look at a number of news services that provide information about legal cases. And then I also look for email from my office because if there is something that my office needs me to do, that bumps to the top of the list and I get started on that right away. Once that task is done, or as near done as can be, because not everything can be completed in one day. Sometimes you need input from other people, and while I'm waiting on that input, I come over here and try to think of something novel to tell you about with regard to the law. So far, I haven't had too much trouble. I do have some really good suggestions for some stuff that's coming up, and again, my email is right up there. If you would, please give me any suggestions you have for anything you would like me to cover. And a lot of topics that are really topical get covered by other people in this sort of lawyer YouTube space. And I don't like to stomp on their, I like to stomp on them when they've been the first to present something. Unless I have a new angle or a Missouri-specific angle on something, I usually won't cover something like that. But anything else, if you've got a question, if you've got something you'd like discussed, could be about anything related to the law, or even sometimes just not related to the law. For example, the whole surviving divorce thing was more about just being a good person than it was the legal stratagems. So I would encourage you, if you have something you want discussed on the channel, to drop me an email and let me know what it is. So I will sit down and I will work on the videos. Usually I shoot the videos and then I edit the videos same day. And then I try to post them. If I will do 3 or 4 videos in a day, and sometimes I do that, I will set them to run 3 or 4 days ahead. And then every now and then something happens, like this ridiculous thing that the Murdaugh attorneys came up with. That will take precedence and I'll need to do something. Usually I'll try to keep it short and sweet if that's the case until I have time to really look at it. And I do plan on doing a little something about Dick Harpootlian's little spiel about jurors needing lawyers, which I think that violates some rules, and I'm going to talk about that in the near future. But that's what I do. And then, depending on what else is going on, when my wife comes home, we eat dinner, we sit around, we read, we oftentimes will, sometimes we'll watch TV, sometimes we'll watch YouTube. It's just a question of whatever we feel like we're going to be doing, and then the next day the whole spiel starts all over again. But there are several nights that are a little different. Thursday night, for example, I have the opportunity at 2 o'clock to go get my two grandsons that are here in Auburn and pick them up from school and take the youngest one to gymnastics while the oldest one and I sit and talk about everything from economics to legalities. And that's always a lot of fun for me because it's interesting to see what someone who is probably a little bit naive about the way the world works, to listen to his opinions and offer my thoughts in return. And then on Tuesday nights, Tuesday is my longest work day. I am usually able to work until probably 6 o'clock on that day. And that's the day when I tend to get the most videos done. But at 6:45, I should say, my wife goes and picks up the boys at 2 o'clock. They go to their house, they do their homework, and then there's more gymnastics on that day. She goes and picks up their little sister. And then at 6:45, we all meet at the local Mexican restaurant to eat dinner. And of course, being Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, and you get 2 tacos for the price of 1. So it absolutely tickles my frugal funny bone to go in there and get 1 taco or get 2 tacos and pay for only 1 of them. I should point out that generally speaking, I like to cook Mexican food, and I do a pretty good job of cooking Mexican food. And my family seems to enjoy it when I do. Good Mexican food can be a thing of beauty. Bad Mexican food is an abomination. And the restaurant that we go to, my wife likes it, and I guess I'm not exactly as keen on it as she is, but that's okay because what I really go for is the camaraderie. And last night, the absolute funniest thing happened at the Tuesday night dinner. I mentioned that I had to go to the dentist. You may recall that I did the video with the Tony Two Toes, and I was talking like this. Part of that was because I had to go to the dentist, and so in the process of having that discussion, the oldest grandson pipes up and says, "So, are you now going to be Tony Two Teeth?" And that cracked everybody up. He's just at that age where things are starting to be really witty for him. He's got a great sense of humor, and I really enjoy, it's fun sometimes to be the butt of a joke, and that was a lot of fun. But we have a good time. We sit and talk, and we catch up on things that we haven't talked about, in a full week, and it's just a great time to spend time with family. I would encourage everybody to do that, frankly. If you don't have a regular time once a month or once a week to get together with everybody in your family and kind of, talk about things that are important to you, you should, because very quickly time will pass, and those opportunities are lost once people pass on to the next life. And you will regret not spending time with those people when that happens. When I was trying my very first case in Missouri, about 5 minutes after we won that case, I got a phone call in the judge's office. Now, my sister had been after me to call my mom because my mom wasn't feeling well, and she really thought that my mom would like to hear from me. But I was getting ready for trial. I was laser focused on trial. I was really buoyed by the fact that we had won. I went back, I answered the phone call, and my sister told me that my mom had passed away. Now, you talk about having some regret. I had every opportunity to visit with my mom before she passed away. And because I was more focused on work than on being a good son, I missed that opportunity. And I regret that. So I pass that on for whatever it may be. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and makes it possible for me to continue to do this. That's it. That's the commercial. Now you know a little bit more about me. You know a little bit more about how I spend my time. And I just felt like today would be a good day to share that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Oh, and I should tell you about my kindness moment last night. Usually, I pay for my wife and I's meal, and my son-in-law pays for his family's meal, and we go about our business, never thinking about it. And normally that works out pretty well. Well, last night, the waitress was probably not the sharpest knife in the drawer. We all ordered drinks at one time, and she brought drinks individually, like 1 or 2 drinks at a time. We ordered some cheese dip. She brought it, and then she had to go back and get bowls to put the cheese dip in because we always spread it around the table. And then we ordered our food, and again, it took her a while to get the actual order done. And that should have been a giant clue, but it wasn't. So we got our food, and our food was good, and we ate, and she came and said, you know, are you guys done? And we said yes, and I handed her my credit card, and my son-in-law handed her his credit card. And when she brought it back, I wound up paying for their meal, and they wound up paying for my meal. Now, you know, there was a difference, a sizable difference in the price of the food, but the poor girl was operating at peak efficiency. I don't think she was probably cut out to be a server in a Mexican restaurant. I know she was trying her best, so I just said, stuff happens. And I can afford it. I could afford to pay for a few dollars more for a meal. And it didn't really bother me. So rather than make a scene about it, what I did was I just said, don't worry about it. If you have the opportunity today, pass on some kindness to someone else and have a great day in the process. And as always, catch me down here at the beach next time. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.